channel. So for today's video, we're doing Crayola. For some reason, there's like a weird air bubble there. But it is still World Watercolor Month. It's still July. So let's pop these open. These are brand new. It didn't come in plastic or anything. I am not using this brush. I'm sorry. Crayola's brushes are like the worst. But we do have some really cute paints. And they're not tacky. Normally, like, kids' paints that aren't like chalky or tacky. It is pulling color, but my hands are a little damp because it's humid. I'm still weirded out by this air bubble. I need that to be gone. But, so these are more modern paints. Last week we did some older ones. Am I going to put that there? I think I'm going to put that there. And I don't know if you can see it, but I did sketch out a deer. Well, a buck. It's got antlers. Originally, my reference photo is of a mounted buck on the wall of a cafe near my home that I like to occasionally visit. But to make it a little less morbid for the channel, I'm just going to fade out the body into the background. So, I guess let's get started. So we're going for like a light tan for most of his body, so I'm probably going to mix it with some yellow and just water it down quite a bit. Crayola watercolors especially get a bad rap, and I think that's because most people use them on like the Crayola paper. The Crayola paper is trash, don't get that. Let's see what it's like on somewhat decent paper. Again, this still isn't the best paper. This is Michael's brand. And this time I remembered to tape my paper down. So what I did is, instead of taping it to what you see in the background, which is basically just a sheet of silicone, because I feel like that would also curl because it's very lightweight, I taped it to a piece of glass from a picture frame. And I'm not being super careful with the edges down here because this is the body that I'm going to fade out anyway. So I taped it down to a piece of glass, and then to keep it from glaring with the light, I just taped down the extra. So I'm sorry if it looks a little goofy. I could not find washi tape. I don't have any at the moment, and I went to like 3 stores and also could not find any. I probably could have found some at Michael's, but I did not want to drive all the way out that way. So, the short story is I didn't. Because that's like a 30-minute drive for me, where I'm at. And I just didn't feel like it. To be honest with you, I just didn't feel up to it, so I didn't do it. I did sketch this in regular graphite this time, for 2 reasons. One, I knew this was going to be a really light wash for most of it. Because of my color selection, I knew I wouldn't have... I don't know why I put water there. I knew I wouldn't have a whole lot of give. I'm obviously still going to build color, but I just wanted to give myself some wiggle room. And then the other reason is it is still Crayola. So I still wanted to be kind of on theme. It's still like a kid's supply. So I felt like it was appropriate. Because I don't feel like a lot of kids are going to be like, oh, it's watercolor, I'm going to sketch in watercolor pencil. And I did admittedly struggle with this sketch a tiny bit. First, I had it way too far to the left. And then I tried to fix it and make it a little bit bigger because it needed it. And it was still too far to the left. And now it's this, but I made it a little too big, so the antlers are a little up in the top, but it's okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm trying to keep my brush strokes along the same direction that the fur goes. I'm not going to be super duper accurate, but I'm trying to be close to it. I have never really done an animal in watercolor in my adult life. I did a hummingbird for my dad in watercolor in high school. Part of it was watercolor pencil though, to be fair. And looking back at it, I'm not super proud of it, but also I had done no research on watercolors besides, you know, what my high school art teacher instructed us about. While that's drying, there's not much else I can work on with it. So I think I am going to do the same color for the background. I'm not going to put the background in until after, but I can mix up the color because watercolor is rewettable.
I have been doing a lot of green backgrounds lately. I'm fully aware of that. This will be my last green background for a little bit, I think. Alright, that's the color I want. It just needs to be more watered down. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. So that's the color we're going to do. Even if it has time to fully dry out, I know what I'm getting that way. So I'm going to let this dry, and we'll come back to it.
It does come with a black. I'm probably not going to use the straight black. If you see my hand stretch out, I'm just playing with the reference phone, either pulling the photo back up if it timed out or expanding it, moving around where I am on the photo so that I can get better detail. Like I was saying before, this is a big leap for me. I haven't done a watercolor animal as an adult, I don't think. Not that I can remember, at least. Well, I did the bee in the Marvel Kids set, but that was mostly in crayon. That I thought was going to be watercolor. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. It's definitely an interesting one. Even though it was a little frustrating, it was fun. I did have a comment on one of my videos, I think it actually might have been that one, asking me to do less kids kits and stuff because I'm obviously frustrated in them. And I do get frustrated with them, but I like to push myself. And that's just me personally. If that's not your thing, then I'm not forcing you to do anything. But I like to push myself, especially creatively. And I mean, I've been doing kids kits since before the channel. It's not just because it gets significantly more views, especially the Crayola stuff, but I just like to see what I could make with a supply that's meant for scribbling, basically. And already, even though this is a watercolor animal, and I'm very anxious right now that I'm gonna mess this up, it's all for play. I don't expect this to be perfection. This is cheap paper and even cheaper paint. And if I mess it up, I mess it up. It's not a huge deal. I don't want to mess it up, but if I do, whatever, right? So I'm just trying to have a good time. And I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys are having a good time watching this video. I do have more lighting. I finally figured out the light that came with the new camera setup. Well, phone setup, because I use my phone to record. But I could not figure out the light because I'd be like, oh, sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. It turns out it has settings on one side and on and off on the other. And I am just as bad as a man and did not read the instructions. So, yeah, I figured that out eventually. But with the watercolors, and considering this month is all watercolors, I wanted to wait on that because I figured too much lighting and the wet paint will glare too much. So I'm holding off for a little bit. definitely made the eye way too far over. And I'm trying to kind of fix that. And we're just gonna see if I'm able to. I'm really glad that we found out that the black was not actually black, because that definitely helped out quite a bit. And I found that out by taking a break of this and doing some little bookmark exercises with some bookmarks to take a break, and that'll be a bonus video. I don't think it turned out half bad for my first watercolor critter. I definitely messed up the nose muzzle area, and I feel like this ear has something very wrong with it, but I just can't figure out quite what. I'm glad I went with a bluer background. I wish that this side was a little bit more even than it is. And I'm glad that I did the splotches. I definitely am. I think I did fix the eye a little bit. I wish I could have kept the highlight, but I messed that up. But not too shabby. So if you liked this video and you like my art, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to stay artsy. Bye guys!